Hello my scrappy friends and welcome to my channel today. As you can see, I am working with my Elle Studio kit from January. I was lacking some motivation and remembered that Anna's Craft Cupboard has got a monthly challenge, and so I pulled up the sketch. This is the page that I created, and I'm really happy with how it all came together. I still have a ton of product left from this kit, so hopefully I'll get a couple more videos done for you. What I have started with though is the wood grain paper is from Cocoa Vanilla Studio Make-A-Wish collection, and that is going to be my background. I end up only using two of the pattern papers from the Elle Studio kit. It's 6 by 8.5 inch paper pad, so you can see I'm just piecing that together to make a 12-inch strip, and you can't even tell. I do kind of cover it up, but you can't tell anyway. So I'm going to start with that red. The photos I'm scrapbooking have got lots of colour in them. I did print them in colour because I just felt that you got more of the detail in colour. Okay, so I'm using that 6x4 card. It's got the story of this photo, and you can see I'm just moving things around, kind of mostly sticking to the sketch. I got to this kind of point and then went okay, and then I put the sketch away and I just started adding bits and pieces. Using labels, I have pulled some from my stash as well that match the colours perfectly, and you can see here I've started with the blue and that kind of orangey reddy pink. It's not pink. The ink that I end up using to match it is Abandoned Coral Distress ink. So I have sped this up super quick because it's not overly exciting to watch me move things around 100 million times and add things and take things away, and so I have left most of this processing for you. So yeah, I am layering labels here in a way that I'm happy with. I didn't like the rounded corners on this. Everything else had square corners, so I'm just chopping the rounded corners off. I've still got the colour detail on the edges though, and I'm going to pop this one up on foam, and I'm getting an idea here of how I want all my layers to fit together. I'm really happy with how that's looking. Trying to get it so that there's no weird gaps. And then, so these are more pieces from the kit. Those two little orangey coloured word strips say perfect pair. I'm like, these two are hilarious. This photo was taken around this time last year. If you are not aware, I am in Australia. It is stinking hot here at the moment. It always is in February. And my children went to bed with beanies. My mum crochets them new beanies every year. They went to bed with beanies on, and the pair of them went to bed with slippers on. And my youngest child, the one in the top photo, has also got, I think, only one glove on, but they just decided that they needed to sleep with beanies and slippers on. So I got home from work and found them like this and thought this is just hilarious. So I snuck out, went back in with my phone and snapped a couple of photos, because I'm sorry, if you're in Australia, who goes to bed with a beanie on? Weirdo children, but that's okay. They definitely entertain me. So you can see, sticking pretty closely to the sketch with those layers on the right hand side. I have also layered up, I think I did 2 1-inch strips of that blue pattern paper. I'm going to, I don't think I've added, no I have, I've added stitching just on top of the red, white cotton, and I'm really sorry for the zooming in and zooming out of this. I do end up cutting a lot of it out. I'm trying to get in and see if I'm happy with how it's looking, and you can see there's lots of paper shuffling going around, and I'm looking through all the things. I do have a stack of ephemera and die cuts to my left hand side, all Elle Studio products, and I just tried to match the colours as best I could. And what I've got is blue, the red, and that orangey colour in the 2 clusters. I'm pretty sure there's 3 clusters in the sketch, but I end up just going with 2. I feel that it fits better. Really love this rainbow stripe, but I can't get it on both sides to a point where it's covering up the same section. Wasn't sure if I wanted to add the pink. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add the mint. I knew I didn't really want to add both. So I cut those off one of the 3x4 cards. I didn't end up using them, but I will use them for something, I'm sure. Then I found this mint colored label and I'm like, yes, perfect. That gives me another pop of a different color. And then I'm like, okay, how can I add mint in here? This die cut has got little dots and little mint colored hearts, so I'm going to use that as that layer exactly where it is. You can see too that I've stitched through that bottom cluster, and I'm going to leave the threads long on the front, and I'm just adding that little die cut with the dots and hearts so that I can use it in 2 places. Adding all my bits, making sure I don't have any weird angles. And then, yes, this is where this is going to go. I finally settle on a place, stick that down, and then I'm going to work on this top cluster. You can see I'm just layering my die cuts in a way that I'm happy with, tucking some under that label. So here it cuts in and out as well. This is the worst part of where it cuts in, where the focus keeps moving, and this is the part I cut out. So I'm just moving the bits around until I'm happy with where they look, so that none of the edges are exactly lined up and that kind of thing. Again, I've stitched through there, and I think I've just put one line through perfect and one line through pear. Again, I'm just making sure with my edges where things are lining up. I'm really happy with how that's looking, but I'm kind of like, yeah, I feel like there's something kind of missing here. What am I going to do? So I start by mounting my photos on some tissue paper. They fit perfectly on this scrap, and I've got enough left over that I can do something else as well. How exciting. Yeah, so my mojo's kind of gone a bit walkabout at the moment. I've had a couple of rough weeks, and I thought I would use the sketch because it's a really great starting off point. It is for me anyway. I really like sketches. Gives me somewhere to start, especially when I've got some product in mind that I want to work with. So, like I said, I got the basic part of the layout. I went pretty close to the sketch, and then I just kind of went, you know what, this is going to work for me, and then put the sketch away. It was more a starting off point than anything, and I'm really happy with how this page came together. I don't normally use 2 4x6 photos, but these 2 photos I wanted to include because they tell this story, and this is not the first nor the last time that we have found them like this. It cracks me up. In fact, my big boy recently found one of those you know those hat things with the long ears that have got pockets in them? He found one of those, and it's a unicorn, and I've gone in to check on him the last few nights, and he's got it on asleep, and he's sweating profusely, and I'm like, let's get that off your head. So I'm working on my title here. I want to use Title Builder stamp set. I can't remember if I used volume 1 or volume 2 from Elle Studio. And then I've got some Elle Studio puffy stickers, and what you cannot see is to the left hand side of my messy desk is my December daily supplies that are still not quite done with. But I had those red alphas, so I thought that is perfect. So I have used puffy stickers, a scripty font, and then I'm going to use these 2 different fonts from the stamp set. And my title is going to read, "This is perfectly hilariously funny." I was going to do all the stamping in that band of coral, but the blueprint sketch matched the blue, and I thought that it brought all the colours in together. So that's what I'm working on here, just trying to match the colour. Pop that on there, and I'm using my stamp platform because I wanted this lined up fairly evenly down the middle of that box. I think this card was designed with a photo in mind on that side, but as you can see, obviously you can use it however you like. I've got that far and I'm like, this is looking a bit plain, and I said, hey husband, what should I do? I'm stuck. And he goes, you need to add some mixed media. This is very this is not you. So I pulled out this stencil. This is a Paige Evans stencil. My room is such a mess at the moment that the only pencil I could find was the pencil that is with my compass. So I use my pencil from my compass to mark where those labels are going, and I'm going to use some white Liquitex light modeling paste, I think it is, and smush that through the stencil in those two areas. I'm also going to add some splatters. Yeah, I'm just carefully mushing that through because I don't want heaps, but I do want enough. Put that aside to dry, clean that, and then I come back in and I've got my Black India ink. I'm adding splatters. Yes, I know it looks like a lot, but most of that is being covered up. Because of all the black in that 6x4 card, I did want to bring the black to the background as well. Like, I can start sticking all this together, and then I'm like, no, I'm not. I've got to make sure the placement's correct. So I just check that, stick that top cluster to my photos, get my background out of the way because it's still drying, and one of the layers gets tucked under, some more get tucked on the top. So I'm just making sure that that's all lining up how I want it. And what am I doing? Adding a little bit of foam there. Checking the date. I'm going to stamp that in the abandoned coral. I don't know if you noticed, but when I first started, I was covering up all those bottom lines on this 6x4 card, and then I decided to uncover the date. I think I add my journaling next, and it just tells the story that I just shared about my special children. I think I have also added some stitching. No, I don't think I have yet. I'm just going to add this cluster and muck around with this red label. No, I think I get that in straight away. I think it just goes right where I need it to. Adding a little bit of foam and then sticking my label down. What do I do next? Checking that that's all in the right place and I'm happy with it. Yep. It's all good. Everything's where I want it to be. I have gone away and I've stitched through those puffy alphas, and I just left, so I left this bit in so you could see what I do. Most of the time, regardless of whether I leave my threads long on the front or cut them short, I'll just grab regular sticky tape and tape down my stitching and then trim off the ends, just so that I know that it's not going anywhere. Just wanted to add that little bit of extra texture. I've pulled out, you can see there on the right hand side, a bunch of puffy hearts, also by Elle Studio. I did mention that I like their products, right? And that I've been collecting them. So I'm going to add 3 puffy hearts to each of those clusters. I'm going to go with the darker teal colour, this bright blue, I love this colour, and then a grey in each area. I do end up going back in and adding glue to these. So you can see I'm just playing with the placement here. Why I move it around as much as I do, I don't know, because it goes back on the right hand side of that cluster, which is where I really liked it. Then 3 to the top. I'm just trying to make sure that I pick the same colours but different shaped hearts and different sizes. So the teal, the grey, and the blue. I'm like, oh, where's my red label gone? Tuck that in there. course, my ATG stopped working. Well, ran out of tape. I'm just adding glue to all of this. Now, because I didn't go crazy with the mixed media in the background, ATG is just going to stick that straight down, which is awesome. I did use my heat gun to dry some of those black splatters a little bit. You can see that little grey heart popped off, and so I'm going to go back in with some glue and make sure they all stay stuck. I don't make you watch that, I don't think, because it's not the most exciting viewing. I did pull out that foam because it wasn't sitting right. I smush glue everywhere here. Like, oh my goodness. Can't get any out, and then I get it all out. And then I'm adding in a couple of word phrases. I think these are from a Tim Holtz book. One says original, and I can't remember what the others say, but I'm pretty sure you can see them in the close-ups. Just decided that I wanted that overlapping with the colour, and then there's one up to the top as well. Last thing I'm going to do on camera is add some splatters. Again, I'm using the abandoned coral and my fan brush. I remembered to cover up my photo for part of this, and then you see right at the end that I managed to get splatter all over the top photo. But that's okay, because it comes off. So I'm just splattering that colour, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it needed. I am trying to decide whether I should add blue splatters as well. So let me know. Should I add blue splatters to those two clusters or not? I do, so I'm wiping all that ink off, firstly the puffy hearts, and then I realised I got it all over my photo. And then it just comes off my photo with wet wipe, which is awesome. I do add some enamel dots as well off camera. Again, I'm pretty sure you can see those in the close-ups, and I just use that minty colour, but here is the close-ups in the video, and it's going to jump forward to the stills where you can see the enamel dots and all of those fine little details. Yeah, if you are struggling with your mojo or want a place to start something, head over to the Anna's Craft Cupboard community Facebook group and make sure you join in our challenges. There's prizes every month, and there's always a fun challenge over there. This got my mojo going, and I've been creating a couple of things ever since. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my sneak peek using blue and purple. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. And I will be back again very soon with another share. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate that you want to spend some time with me. Have a fantastic scrappy day.